Hey y'all, I'm going to show you this simple approach to maximize your salary and start earning money today. Let's go. Hi, my name is Rico Nasol. I am a creative executive, entrepreneur, and leadership coach. I know it feels like your paycheck doesn't quite cover your bills, especially in the world today in 2022. But don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you some simple ways for you to maximize your salary. Now, these things will help you get the data you need to help you with those negotiations, either within the team you're in now or the job you're going to get tomorrow. So get your pen and paper ready. You want to write some of this stuff down. So I'll give you a second, go get your pen and paper, and let's go. So the first thing you can do is ask hiring managers at other companies what the salary ranges are for similar roles. So especially if you're new to salary negotiations, like this is a great data point, right? So if you have recruiting friends or you have friends at other companies like doing similar things that you're doing, if they're willing to disclose what they make, like I'm always pretty open about what I make, like that's a great place to get data. So if you know your hiring manager friends, say like, hey, I am an editor, or I'm a UX designer, or I'm a writer, what do you typically pay at your company? Another way you can do that is go to these creative agencies or staffing agencies and talk to the recruiters there and say like, hey, for this role, this type of role, what does the hourly rate go for these freelancers, contractors, etc.? This can help you zero in on like what your range should be and what the market rate is for your similar role. Another way to get this information is to interview at other companies. Now, you don't have to be looking for another job. You know, like right now, I think a lot of people are getting headhunted. You know, like I'm getting headhunted. There's a lot of people I know that are getting headhunted. And lots of times people who are happy in their roles just like politely say, no, I'm okay. You know, I'm not looking right now. But, you know, that's a great opportunity to actually just hear about what they have to say, what kind of roles they're hiring for, and then get an idea of what the salary range is. Like, oh, you're looking for a creative director and you're paying X amount a year. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. I'll consider it. And then, you know, you can move on forward or not. So like, that's a great way to get an idea of what the pay range is also. And for the leaders out there, I actually encouraged my teams to take those interviews. I would encourage my direct reports to talk to people because I want to know, and they should know what they're worth, or like what the market is telling their roles are worth out there. It may seem counterintuitive. Like, I don't think that it's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing. Now, if you're a really great leader and you're confident that your company is in the right range or can offer the right range, then you shouldn't really stress about it. Now, if you're not a great leader, you have a bad culture, or you feel like your company might not be willing to, you know, negotiate, that's a completely different video, and we're not going to talk about that today. And the last tip I have, it's actually a 3-part tip, so maybe I'm cheating here, but it's these 3 questions that I use to zero in on the right pay. So leaders, if you're out there, or hiring managers, or HR, or people ops people, pay attention to this part, because this is where you can retain your top talent and make sure that you are paying not necessarily top of market, but at least within market for the roles that you have in your organization. So these are the 3 questions. The first question is, how much could you get somewhere else? So like through the things you did in the beginning, like asking hiring managers, talking, like taking interviews, this is where you get an idea for that. What are similar roles getting paid in your industry? Like that's the first question you should ask. Second is, how much would it cost to replace me? Or if you're a hiring manager, how much would it cost to replace them? So this one goes just beyond salary. It's not just like the numerical number of like, oh, I make 100,000 a year or whatever it is. This needs to account for onboarding time. This needs to account for projects lost in transition, domain and historical knowledge. So if it's a homegrown platform where, you know, you're not buying things off the shelf, and there's a lot of like getting up to speed with the internal tools, like that's leaving the building. So all of that's not easily replaced. So it's not a one-to-one to say like, oh, an editor at this company makes 100,000, so it'll cost me $100,000 to replace this one if they leave. There's probably, how much is that expertise for your platform, your industry, all the things that I just mentioned worth you keeping or replacing? Is it going to cost 50,000 in lost time, onboarding benefits and all that? Is it going to cost 100,000 in like the lost revenue because all the projects now that are now falling through the cracks? Like that's a big thing to consider. How much would it cost to replace them? And then lastly, this is like the big one, is how much would you pay to keep them? So ultimately, what is the value that you bring to your company? You know, like, are you working on a project that nobody else is working on? Do you bring a specific skill set that maybe nobody has? Are there only one of you? Like, if, like, say you're like in creative and you're a motion designer, maybe you're the only motion designer at that company. So, you know, how much would they pay to keep you? You should be bringing value to the company. If you're not bringing value, this doesn't matter, and you should know if you're bringing value or not. But if you don't know if you're bringing value, stop watching here and go figure that out first. Like, go figure that out. But if you know you're bringing value, you know you have to ask the question, like, you know, how much do they pay to keep me? So if you can answer these three questions with a high level of confidence around like where these numbers are, then you have a good chance of asking for what you want, because you have like these strong data points, and you can make a really strong argument. From the employer side, like, it's not enough for employers just to pay you not to quit. Like, those days are gone, right? Like, those days are gone with Industrial Revolution, or, you know, like in the 90s, whatever. Paying someone not to quit is not enough anymore. Like, people want more out of their job. They want not only the ability to provide for their families or whatever, like the lifestyle that they want to live, but they want to be invested in the business. They want to believe in the company that they're working for. There's so much more than just like getting a paycheck. So leaders, well, NICs, you need to realize that you need to ask more of your employer, and employer, you need to provide more for your teams. So there you have it, some easy steps to help you determine what your salary should be. While I can't guarantee that these tips are gonna get you a raise tomorrow, or the exact salary that you want, it's also gonna depend on experience, right? Like, how long have you been doing the thing that you're doing? So like, there's a lot of other factors, but by and large, if you go after these things and you find like, what is a 10-year, or for me, what does a 20-year executive make at this company in this industry? Like, that's what I would look at. So, you know, always consult others. Like, if you're an editor or a designer, usually you have other editor and design friends. So talk with them and see, you know, if they're willing to at least see if you're in the ballpark, to see if you're underpaid or not. You know, you may be at top of market, and so all of this research might tell you like, wow, I'm actually paid a lot. So you never know. But the more information that you have, the more equipped you feel, the more confident you'll go into these conversations, whether it's with HR or your manager, to help you negotiate for what's fair and equitable, especially in these times. I think it's really important for us to take these things into consideration with like the market we're going into now. So, is this gonna help you out? Let me know in the comments below. Like, if you've used strategies, if you have other strategies, if you have questions about these strategies, or if you're gonna go talk to your boss now and come back. Let me know how it went. I don't know, there might be a lot putting it on YouTube comments, but DM me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on all the other socials. I'd love to hear how it goes. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please, it would do me a huge favor. Like the video, and then if you want more of this content, subscribe so then you get notified whenever I upload some new videos. All right, until next time, see you then.